Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin Mari here today with another Action Taimanin video. So for today, I just kind of want to talk about like something that's been bothering me lately. It's just the events in general. So like, I appreciate that we get events, but my issue with them is more so like how they're implemented and the timetable. So I've been playing gacha since like 2012. A lot of gacha games, what they have is what it's called like empty weeks or empty updates, where or I guess you could call it like a lull in content, which is deliberate so people don't get burned out. So like if you ever play like any Chinese gacha, like you'll have like an event for say like maybe 2 to 3 weeks of the month, and then for the last week of the month there won't be any event there. And the same thing kind of happens in MMOs, where maybe they'll have like a major update every 3 months or every 5 months or what have you, and during like that last like couple months, like there's always going to be like supplemental updates and things to do, but during like the last month or maybe like the last 2 weeks of the month before the major update, there's a bit of a content lull. And that's there like just so people don't get burnt out, so they don't feel like it's becoming a job. And AT kind of like does the exact opposite. It's like we have an event for 2 weeks and then bam, the next event is out. Like you see here, this event literally for whatever her name is, this Letitia, that's it. Her event went on, and then right after she left, we have Felicia, and then once Felicia leaves, we're gonna get the next event. I don't know what it is yet, but it's just like back to back to back to back. Like there's literally a meme that says like, "Honey, like it's time for the new event" or some crap, and it's like a Sagi, and it's just like a shriveled up guy, and he's like, "Yes, honey," because it's literally like that at this point. It's like we're just back to back events. On top of that, an issue I've been having with the events lately, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but every enemy type for like the past, I want to say, since the New Year event, because we had the weird wooden boys during Christmas and they were machines. Since New Year's, every enemy type and every event has been demons. Like everything. So it's kind of gotten to a point where, for people who are newer, who didn't play like from the very first event, and they don't have Onigumo here, they're just like asked out. Like whenever I make a video for events, it's literally becoming like, if I'm using a blue build, it's like use your Onigumo and blah 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 blah. It's the same thing over and over. Like there's no build variety. So like I wish they would just do different things. Like there are other supporters in this game, like Haruka exists. We could have an event with predominantly humans, so people could take advantage of her increased damage dealt to humans. We could have an event with predominantly machines, so we could use something like Uma Amane, or that new waifu in the gacha. She deals more damage to machines. Like, usually what games do is they self-shill. So, for example, like she's the gacha waifu. Imagine if this event used machines that were challenging. More people would probably be inclined to pull for her because they would want her ability to be able to deal damage to machines, especially if they don't have an Amane. Like Honkai does it all the time. When they release a new character, like when they release Hershey May, everything in their brother for any sort of competitive content was weak to electricity and psychic types. So I don't know why they don't implement that here. Just simply because it forces people to want to build their account, but at the rate we're going, everyone's just like, oh, well, it's just demons, demons, demons. I can easily equip a demon's weapon, so something like Vajra, where you just hit demons harder all day. Or a popular one is this, Leyline for Renko. Or they could just throw on their Onigumo if they're a veteran player. So I really wish they would do something about the enemy types, because fighting demons constantly it's just like it gets kind of like a bit droll. And on top of that, the bosses are just like it's like so anticlimactic. So the reason why I love, let's go into the enemy types actually. The reason why I love the Mari event is because at the end of the event you actually fought Mari. Here she is. And then going on to Kalia, At the end of the Kalia event, you actually fought her as Snake Lady, and then she actually transformed into Kalia, which was neat because you didn't even get to see like this form of her in the old visual novels. So it was cool that they, added like a second phase. And it felt like things were on the come up. And then even then, like we have Hollywood Micah here. During her event, like there was a plot twist and you had to fight Micah at the end. But like those are so far and few between. What really happens on a normal basis is it'll be like an event and then it'll have like a bunch of bosses that are just updated trash mobs. So you see this chick a lot like thrown in as a boss. Like Kyle was unique. I forgot to mention him, but he was basically just a tiny version of the trash mobs during that event specifically. But it was meant to celebrate the year of the bull, so like that gets a pass. But then this chick, like, why do we have to fight her as a boss? Like, this is a trash mob. I don't know why they don't just like come up with something different. It kind of bothers me because it just shows like lack of effort. Like, when are we gonna get another epic boss like this? Like, not that he's really hard, but it was just like, oh wow, doing that first like 5 chapters and fighting Momochi felt really epic, and then suddenly it just kind of fell off. Like now we fight like humanoids, like Ingrid, and tinier things like Mari. There's nothing that's really like a big ass mob like Momochi Toyo creature. And then even then, like Momochi was more challenging than a lot of what we're fighting right now. Like people talk crap about this high demon ninja, but she's way less difficult than Momochi. And then like where this guy, like we fought him again. Like he's an old ass chapter boss. I don't know why they don't just make new bosses per event. Like I get it, like not every event has to have something unique like in Astaroth, but like it'd be nice to not be just fighting like updated trash mobs because all you're really doing is taking a trash mob and then giving it like 400 health bars and like hey guys go farm this for 2 weeks. Like it's already drab to deal with. It's already not fun. So like again, I say these things not to crap on the game. I do enjoy the game, otherwise I wouldn't play it or stick with it this long or even bother covering it. But I just feel like a little more variety is needed. Like a few months back, like in one of my leak videos, they talked about this thing that was going to be added or was being worked on for the Japanese version called Arena Tower. And I haven't, heard anything else about it, so I wonder if that's scrapped or if it's going to happen. But yeah, we need some sort of like mode that's a game mode that isn't just events. Because right now in AT, what people do is they either use their AP pots up and spam the event day one, or they do what I do and they just like let natural AP work them through the event. Like that's how I do my events now because I like having AP pots, so I've just stopped using them altogether since I can get the events done without them. Now, if you burn through all your AP pots, the negative is you're out of pots and you have to hope that they give you stuff worth a damn in their gifts from the team. Otherwise, you may end up having to use gems for pots if you really end up needing them. But the benefit is you can do more dailies. Now, the negative to the way I do it is you don't get to do dailies because you're mostly doing the event for the 2 weeks with natural AP, but you get to save your pots. So it's like there's never a period where you can comfortably hoard pots, and there's no variety. That's really the biggest issue here, is that it's like it's just events in the same format. It's like you get an event, you get a chest, you go through the chest, and then that's it. You stop at box 9 unless there's a background in box 10, which we only had those for the holidays, so they're obviously not something that's going to be a common occurrence. So as a general rule, we stop at box 9. Them adding the gotcha coin was nice because they're moving towards those in the login, so it's good that the events provide a way to get them. Albeit it's not many, but at least it's more than one a week. So that's not a bad addition, but even a different event format, like again, like Honkai Impact, I don't like every event they ever do, and I really, really have hated the recent events personally, like they're not my taste. But there's variety between them. Like this event is a shoot 'em up event. The last event was an Evangelion crossover, there have been events in the past where you play like board games. So I just feel like it's a missed opportunity for a game like Action Taimanin to not even have variety within their events. It's like they just kind of stick to the same format, and it's kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the kind of mentality we're dealing with, and it works, yes, but it doesn't mean it's serviceable. Like in Magikami, their events work off the same system where you open boxes, but they also have repeat events that aren't the same. Like they have the clam event where you basically fist this weird abalone thing. It's adorable. And then they have outside of the clam event, they have Sinister 5 as something for you to do with your guild. That's another thing. Where are guilds? Like, I would love for us to have a guild in the game, not necessarily have multiplayer content, but the Sinister 5 event in Magikami isn't multiplayer. It's just like a really powerful boss that you have to take like limited turns against, and you kind of fight it by yourself, but everyone's damage is calculated within your guild. They could add something like that, like they could do like kind of a server boss Momochi. I'm not going back to the mob screen. But yeah, like a Momochi Toyo creature, something that's like a big, larger than life mob. They could definitely do something where you fight him as a server boss and he has like, I don't know, 1 billion HP, and everyone in the server can spend like maybe 5 AP to poke at him, and you could do it 3 times a day, or maybe just 1 time a day, and then they just accumulate everyone's output for their one try, and then they get rewards based on how much damage they deal. That way, like, there's no leaderboard, so you're not seeing if people did better. You're just getting rewarded for what you did. And it just adds some sort of sense of community, because it's not something you can just steamroll yourself. Because after a certain point in Action Time, and like you just kind of can do everything. Like I don't have every character, but the characters I do have are literally they're all maxed out. They all have access to best in slot gear, are so close to best in slot that they just steamroll. And if I get another character, she would be in the same situation within maybe a week, if that. Like because it's not that hard to grind up a character once you're at the end game because you have the resources to do that to do so. Wow, I stuttered. So again, it's not to complain. Like I know I did that rant video the other day, and I don't want people to think I'm just like here to rant about the game, though that one was more for fun. But yeah, I just think we could use more event variety. I think that arena tower mode needs to get added sooner than later. I don't really follow the JP news anymore because after the Christmas event, seeing them announce all that stuff on Taimanin TV and seeing us not get all of it, I try to stick to just what we're getting in global now, so I don't give you guys any misinformation for our game. But Arena Tower mode, if it has been added to JP or if it is being added, we will inevitably see it because obviously they got Dispatch and now we have Dispatch, which is again was a terrible addition. Like this doesn't address any issues people may have, because I've had some people on my server express that they want like even just a week off from the event spam just to help with burnout. And I get it, because when there's an event going, like I hate to use the term FOMO, but it's pretty much like, yeah, if you don't do the event, you're not going to get the thing. So, like, if I just decided I wanted to take a break from Action Time and right now and not turn it on, I would never finish Felicia because I'm only on box 5. So it kind of like, if you have any sort of ambition or any sort of care for the game, kind of strong arms you into playing it just to get the thing, whether you grind it out fast or slow. And that's fine, but having the events be non-stop is really what the issue is here, because it causes burnout, it causes the feeling of you're doing a job as opposed to you are playing a game, and that shouldn't be. Outside of that, yeah, some new game modes outside of event and daily would be much appreciated, because we do have main quests, like, and I've been bad, I haven't even touched chapter 12, but we do get a main quest like once a month, which is good. Like that just adds more story. Every gacha should have that. Having events is good too, but I think maybe like a break between them is necessary, because if you look at the JP version, if they're getting events back to back like we're getting events, we'll never catch up because we're going to keep getting events as they get them, and we're just going to be where we are in correlation to where they are. But having events isn't bad, just making them fresh is the real argument here. Outside of that, we have dailies, but outside of these three things, special mode is barely any gameplay. It's a few minutes of gameplay a day, depending on how many times you do it. So I just look at this as like a gym generator that you visit every 6 hours. Time attack, outside of getting Magatama, the mode is pretty much like it was dead on arrival because of hackers. I don't know if they've like fixed the hackers. I haven't looked at the scores, but I'm sure like if I scrounge around in here, I might come across something that doesn't look right or make sense. But either way, I hope they fixed it, but at this point no one does it. No one cares about the mode anymore because it was already like, oh, people are hacking, so your time doesn't matter. So the whole point of it being a time attack mode with a ranking just to say, hey, look at how fast I did this, it kind of got destroyed on arrival. So now most veteran players only come here when they need Magatama. Like me personally, I don't even use my battle points. I do my 10 arena matches a week to get to top class, which you see I'm here, so I don't bother with this once that's done. And then after that, like, I just don't do time attack. I used to do it for, like, time, but it just kind of was like, there's no point in this because I was getting outranked by people with level 30 Asagis who had cleared the map in, like, 45 seconds or some unreal time when my gear is, like, 1,000 times better than theirs. So it kind of really disenfranchises people really quickly. So time attack is a dead mode. With that being said, we need something else. Like I hope this arena tower that they're talking about adding is maybe some sort of survival mode or maybe some sort of server boss. I don't know. It's said towers, so maybe it's gonna be like something akin to the tower in M.E.G.A where it's like 50 floors and you can do it like on normal mode per once per month, and then after you beat normal, you'll unlock hard. And the benefit to doing it is you get like an ultra rare ticket at the end. That would be cool if they did something like that because it would give the game more of a sense of like an end game. And they could add like unique enemies or maybe like just make the current enemy types elite and make them more challenging or add more mechanics so players can feel challenged. Because I can tell you now, the most challenging thing in this game is this, and once you clear this, nothing is going to be hard for you. Like, if you're in a situation where you beat this, then the rest of the game, to the character that beat this specifically, is probably a joke. And I cleared it with Yuki Kaze, and after I beat it with her, like I literally don't play Yuki Kaze because it's a joke to play her. Like right now she's only at 74k CP, but she's not wearing Magatamas. If she were wearing them, she'd be around 78 or 79k, probably about 80k. So I barely use my Yuki Kaze because she just turns everything over. That's the same reason like I stopped playing Emily. I adore Emily, but she just turns everything over, so I took like her Spica away from her and I gave it to Shiranui because Shiranui still has like some sort of sense of danger. She's only in super rares, she's a bad character all around. So when I play her, I get a sense of like, yeah, I did it with this character, like but if you have OP characters, like the same goes for anyone who overgeared a Sakura, or anyone who overgeared a Renko or an Asagi, and hell, I guess even a Shiranui, or anyone with any of these characters, like despite their tier, the game isn't hard. So even if you're playing a low tier character like Shiranui, she can still, in the immortal words of Shin, hang foot in the ass just because she's overgeared. And that's kind of like a boring situation to be in. You don't want the whole game to be trivial. So I've gone on a bit. Like TLDR, I just think that they should add like some variation to events. I know that this company isn't big. I know they may not have the funding, but with all the monetization they push, they have to have something, right? Like they have to have something to put back into the game to make it better. So like even if like they don't add any sort of unique event types, a new game mode is definitely needed, and maybe even a clan system with some sort of server boss, not necessarily a multiplayer setting, but something that everyone in the server can work towards, because it would add a sense of community. Outside of that, I just feel like using a different enemy type besides demons for everything would also be a good step, because I haven't played like the new story. I know in Noah's chapter we had like humans again, which was nice, but predominantly story has been demons too. And I just think they need to like step away from demon type, demon type, demon type, because it's just kind of like it's literally like demons Onigumo, and then like our demons Leyline, demons use your Vajra, and there's no variation. So I don't know. I've ranted. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Like a lot of people may not agree with me. I don't know. They may think the event system is great, but I just think it could use some spicing up a bit, because if we're going to play a game long term, like the game obviously wants us to be playing it for an extended period. That's why we only get one gacha coin a week. That's why they removed the super rare tickets from the weekly login, because they're trying to give the game longevity. And I get it from like that standpoint, because look at this. I have gachaed a lot, but I can guarantee you like about 75% of these super rares are just from having played the game from launch and just having super rare tickets funnel in from me playing every day. So like a new player's account that wasn't an existing player when super rare tickets were being given out weekly wouldn't be in this situation. Their progress is like extremely halted compared to a day one player. So like adding longevity is good in that sense, but if you're going to add longevity, you have to like make it more worthwhile than just a gacha coin, because all that's saying is you want to slow our progress and give us literally nothing else. And a new game mode with better rewards could rectify that. Dispatch could have rectified that, but let's face it, it's kind of a bust. Like we do it because it's here to do, but if you're not doing it, you're barely missing anything. Like I think to date I've earned maybe 20 gems, maybe 25 gems from Dispatch. And it's been up for almost a month, so I'll end the video here. If you guys found it like helpful or informative, or I guess in this case like a good topic of conversation, please like and subscribe to hear more. And again, I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments. Feel free to like voice your opinions even if you disagree with me, because I'd love to hear what people think, because like, I think about this game a lot. It's pretty much what I built my channel off of, and I do adore this game, so I'd love to hear what other players have to say. With that, you boys and gals have a great rest of your day. May you have good luck in your gachas and in the arena, and you all go ahead and take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.